KNBC, Channel 4, is an NBC-owned and operated television station located in Los Angeles, California, United States. KNBC is owned by the NBC-owned television stations group, and operates as part of a television duopoly with Corona-licensed KVEA, an O&O of the Spanish-language Telemundo network. Both networks are owned by Universal, a subsidiary of Comcast. KNBC studios and offices are located in the Universal Studios Hollywood backlot, and its transmitter is located on Mount Wilson. In the few areas of the western United States where an NBC station is not receivable over the air, KNBC-TV is available on satellite television through DirecTV. History. Channel 4 first went on the air as KNBH on January 16, 1949. It was the penultimate VHF station in Los Angeles to debut, and the last of NBC's 5 original owned and operated stations to sign on. Unlike the other 4, KNBH was the only NBC-owned television station that did not benefit from having a sister radio station. The NBC radio network had long been affiliated with KFI in Los Angeles, though that relationship did not extend into television in August 1948 when KFI-TV signed on the air. When KNBH signed on, it marked the debut of NBC programs on the West Coast. The station changed its call sign to KRCA on October 18, 1954. The call letters were changed again on November 11, 1962, when NBC moved the KNBC identity from its San Francisco radio station and applied it to Channel 4 in Los Angeles. Channel 4 originally broadcast from the NBC Radio City studios on Sunset Boulevard and Vine Street in Hollywood. In November 1962, the station relocated to the network's color broadcast studio facility in suburban Burbank. NBC Color City, as it was then known, had been in operation since March 1955, and was at least 4 to 5 times larger than Radio City, and could easily accommodate KNBC's locally produced studio programming. NBC Radio's West Coast operations eventually followed Channel 4 to Burbank not too long after. On October 11, 2007, Universal announced that it would put its Burbank studios up for sale and construct a new, all-digital facility near the Universal Studios backlot in Universal City, in an effort to merge all of Universal's West Coast operations into one area. As a result, KNBC, KVEA and NBC News Los Angeles Bureau moved to a new digital facility on the Universal lot formerly occupied by Technicolor SA. The studio opened on February 1, 2014. In fall 2007 with digital broadcast rollout, the station began broadcasting a 24/7 News Channel News Raw on a sub-channel. On January 16, 2009, KNBC celebrated its 60th anniversary with an hour-long tribute to the station, featuring past and present anchors, hosts, other popular on-air staff, and major news stories. KNBC and its other NBC-owned and operated stations introduced a new layout for their websites in July 2009. Digital television digital channels the station's digital signal is multiplexed. KNBC also maintains a mobile DTV feed of sub-channel 4.1, labeled KNBC 4.1, broadcasting at 1.83 Mbps. On January 1, 2012, Universal Sports transitioned into a cable and satellite exclusive service, causing its affiliates to replace the network and remove the channel from their digital signals entirely, with KNBC deleting digital sub-channel 4.4 as a result of the loss of Universal Sports. NBC California Nonstop KNBC operated NBC California Nonstop, a collaboration between KNBC and 2 other NBC-owned stations in California which launched on May 3, 2011 and replaced programming from NBC Plus on the second digital sub-channels of all 3 stations. In the case of KNBC, it was the second news-oriented digital channel operated by the station, as digital channel 4.2 featured a rolling news format under the name News Raw, prior to the launch of California Nonstop. Each station produced a local newscast at 7 p.m. that was tailored to their respective market. For the Los Angeles feed of the channel, Colleen Williams anchored the hour-long nonstop news LA. NBC California Nonstop ended on December 20, 2012 when Cozy TV was launched. Analog to digital conversion equals, KNBC shut down its analog signal, over VHF Channel 4, on June 12, 2009, as part of the federally mandated transition from analog to digital television. The station's digital signal remained on its pre-transition UHF Channel 36, using PSIP to display KNBC's virtual channel as foreign digital television receivers. Since the station qualified for the Nightlight clause in the DTV Delay Act, it was required to keep its analog signal on for 2 weeks from June 12 to 26, 2009 to inform viewers of the digital television transition, consisting of a loop of digital transition public service announcements, while the digital channel was used for normal programming. Community affairs. KNBC has a legacy of participating in the community. The station supports many social causes including health and wellness, the environment, diversity and supports underserved populations like the homeless, veterans, at-risk youth and women. Unregistered trademark S issues. KNBC has been recognized by many non-profit organizations for its community work, and has partnerships with several prominent organizations including the LA Alliance of Boys and Girls Clubs, Court-Appointed Special Advocates Los Angeles, California Community Foundation, American Red Cross Los Angeles, March of Dimes, American Heart Association, American Cancer Society, Hispanic Scholarship Foundation and others. The station also produces a news series called OE Life Connected which airs Sundays during the news at 11 p.m. and repeats on Mondays during the news at noon. Life Connected tells stories of meaningful connections between individuals, and celebrates the diverse communities that make up Southern California. The station launched the OE NBC4 Life Connected Award to further spotlight these individuals at community events. Syndicated programming. Syndicated programming seen on KNBC includes The Ellen DeGeneres Show, The Meredith Vieira Show, The Steve Harvey Show, Extra, and KNBC co-produces Access Hollywood and its daytime talk show spin-off Access Hollywood Live, both of which also air on KNBC and other NBC-owned and operated stations. As of August 2010, KNBC is one of 3 NBC-owned stations that distributes programming either nationally and/or regionally. News operation. KNBC presently broadcasts 37.5 hours of locally produced newscasts each week. The station's newscasts has historically more of a serious tone covering issues than other Los Angeles area newscasts. In 2010, the Norman Lear Center at the University of Southern California found KNBC to have the least coverage of crime and the second highest coverage of local government and sports and weather, compared to other Los Angeles stations. As part of a 2012 investment by parent company Comcast, KNBC's newscasts added 18 employees and produced more enterprise reporting. The station runs a special hour-long newscast on Sunday nights following the Fred Roggin-hosted sports-themed game show The Challenge, during the NFL season where NBC Sunday Night Football telecasts preempt the 6 p.m. newscast. On election nights, KNBC runs a special extended edition of its 11 p.m. newscast to show early election results. NBC4 Unregistered Trademark S investigative team features former KCBS reporter Joel Grover as its lead investigator. In 2013, NBC4 Southern California won the prestigious Investigative Reporters and Editors Award for OE in Harm Unregistered Trademark S Way, a series of reports on transportation safety, which resulted in changes to the rise in tour bus accidents and government policing of the industry, including exposing one company and regulators shutting down 6 others. KNBC has had a very stable news team over the years. Weeknight anchor Colleen Williams, sports anchor Fred Roggin, and chief weathercaster Fritz Coleman have each been at the station more than 25 years. Former KNBC anchor Paul Moyer worked 2 stints at Channel 4. First from 1972 to 1979 and from July 1992 until his May 2009 retirement. Like Moyer, anchor Chuck Henry was also a mainstay at KABC-TV, before making the move to Channel 4 in January 1994. He currently produces the travelogue series Travel Café, which airs weekends on KNBC. Kelly Lang, Sten Owen, John Schubeck, Tricia Toyota, Jess Marlowe, David Sheehan, John Beard and Nick Clooney are other notables who have worked on KNBC's newscasts in the past. For most of the last 30 years, KNBC has waged a spirited battle with KABC-TV for the top-rated local newscast in Southern California, becoming a three-way race with KCBS-TV's ratings resurgence in 2006. Throughout the late 1980s and into the early 2000s, KNBC's newscasts were the most watched in the region, beating out every other station viewership-wise, which coincided with NBC's overall ratings at the time. Channel 4's 11 p.m. newscast currently sits in third place. Most of the station's other newscasts, including its once popular morning news program, Today in LA, the area's first local morning newscast, now rated or near the bottom of the local news ratings. Former Today co-host and NBC nightly news anchor Tom Brokaw began his NBC career as an anchor and reporter for KNBC from 1966 until leaving to work exclusively for the network in 1973. Others of note who have worked at KNBC early in their careers include Bryant Gumbel, Pat Sajak, Ken Sharknik, Bob Abernethy, Keith Morrison, Tom Snyder and consumer reporter David Horowitz, whose long-running syndicated series, Fight Back, began on Channel 4 and was produced and distributed by NBC and Group W. In 1987 during an afternoon newscast, a gun-wielding mental patient gained access to NBC studios, and took Horowitz hostage live on air. With the gun pressed to his side, Horowitz calmly read the gunman's statements on camera. The unidentified man was caught with a toy gun, and was arrested by local police. It led Horowitz to start a successful campaign to ban look-alike toy guns in several states, including California and New York. Channel 4's news programs were known as KNBC News Service during the late 1960s and early 1970s, before adopting the News Center 4 title in the mid-1970s. NBC made similar changes to newscasts in other markets around the same time, and Channel 4 shared the News Center title with its sister stations in New York, Washington, D.C. and Chicago. KNBC's newscasts were the last to drop the News Center moniker, rebranding to News 4 LA in 1982 before becoming Channel 4 News in 1985. While KNBC became known on air as NBC4 in 1995, the Channel 4 News branding was so well established in Southern California that the title was retained for 26 years until 2011, when it became NBC4 News. In 2006, KNBC launched a local news channel on digital Channel 4.4 called News Raw, that provided hourly news updates, additional information on breaking news stories and previewed news stories scheduled to air on the main channel's newscasts. After Universal Sports was launched in 2008, News Raw became a part-time channel, and was later dropped when KNBC expanded Universal Sports programming on the former sub-channel to 24 hours a day. Carlo Medina, the host of News Raw, has received national attention for his integration of social media into local newscasts. For many years, KNBC produced a late afternoon newscast at 4 p.m., which was dropped in 2002, in favor of Dr. Phil. The station also had an hour-long 11 a.m. newscast, which later was trimmed to a half-hour before ultimately being cancelled at the start of the 2010 Winter Olympics. The station revived its midday newscast as a half-hour program at noon in early 2012, which expanded to 1 hour that September. KNBC became the fifth station in the Los Angeles market to begin broadcasting its local newscasts in high definition on July 14, 2008. On December 6, 2011, KNBC entered into a partnership with public radio station KPCC as part of a larger effort by Universal to partner with non-profit news organizations following its acquisition by Comcast. News team Current on-air staff, anchors, Whit Johnson, Daniela Guzman, Carolyn Johnson, Chuck Henry, Colleen Williams, Robert Kovacic, Kathy Vara, Weather Team, Fritz Coleman Weathercaster, Crystal Egger Meteorologist, Sports Team, Fred Roggin Sports Director, Reporters, Joel Grover Investigative Reporter, Conan Nolan, Chief Political Reporter, Robert Kovacic, Anchor Reporter. Notable former on-air staff. Rebroadcasters, KNBC is rebroadcast on the following translator stations. References. External links, official website, query the FCC's TV station database for KNBC.